Hi, I'm glad you found us, or maybe you're returning. This is The Art of Can't. It's not really a podcast, at least not in the traditional form. It's more of an experiment. You see, this series is part of a multifaceted project that includes courseware that we're developing on optimizing personal and collaborative team performance. And the compilation of these insights is part of The Art of Can. You'll find some of this after each episode in what we call the epilogue, in the form of lesson points. These are insights and learnings and practices that each of our guests have put into the use of can as a state of being. Now, the epilogue with these lesson points is dropped as an episode supplemental, and that's found on your favorite podcast streaming platform, like the one that you're listening to right now. You can also find each of these episodes along with the epilogue and the written lesson points for download at amplifyflow.co. That's AMPLIFY flow, FLOW.co. So why are we doing this? Isn't this just another interview podcast dressed up a bit to make it stand out? I'm going to give you an emphatic no. This is truly and fundamentally something different. My name is Steve Hirschberger, and the work that I'm doing surrounding the Art of Can is central to what I think is my purpose. It's the center stone that keeps everything else in my life now either in place or properly supported as whatever I'm working on settles into place. So can really be a state of being, a way to live, to work, and play? Why do this? So two reasons primarily. One is intensely personal. Some might call it selfish, but as I see it, the way it is stated in the Hermetic axiom of as within, so without, that drives the Art of Can, meaning the order and energy of my internal state of being directly influences what surrounds me. In fact, there's no real dividing line, or at least as I see it. Persian poet Rumi once said, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop." This isn't just a clever saying, it aligns with nature and science. Everything is connected, as within, so without. There are repeating patterns of condensed energy. Quantum physicists have discovered that move in and out, repeating themselves infinitely. These are called fractals. Look it up. The structure of our veins is also found in the structure of leaves, which are mimicked in the pattern of rivers, and again, across the cosmos. Fractals. None of this is by accident. Dive into quantum physics or the emerging studies on consciousness, and you will discover that everything is simply energy vibrating at specific frequencies. Now, these frequencies create harmony or they create dissonance. There are reasons for this. There are rules. It's all driven by mathematics and information. And ultimately, all of this has an impact on each of us if we choose it. You see, in life, if you really think about it, all we have is the ability to choose. And that is what the Art of Can is about. Choice. Back to why I do this. You might be saying, okay, all of this is woo-woo BS. Okay, it's a choice you make. However, you might be a bit more open and saying, all of this sounds super interesting, theoretically, but practically my life is full of stress, problems, and uncertainty. Financial challenges, job or career concerns, aging parents, children with real issues that you're struggling to keep up with and help them understand and overcome, health challenges, loneliness, depression, anxiety, disconnection. Perhaps all of these things there are maybe even days you wake up dreading what is to come that day. Maybe you've accepted things as they are. It is what it is. Maybe you've given up just a little without even knowing it. And that is exactly why you are here. You see, you didn't find this content. It found you. You are not where you are supposed to be now. You can, you should, and hopefully you will choose a different path. Easy to say, Steve, you're sitting there on your really nice couch. Okay, yeah, it is easy for me to say because I now live and can as a state of being. That doesn't mean either I am perfect or that my life is perfect. No, I've got the same challenges, and on occasion, I take steps backwards or downwards towards can't and energy that is darker and in disharmony. More on that later. But like you, I'm human. The difference is that can is a regular practice for me. It's an energy frequency I can recognize and feel, so I draft off that. The result is often a regular flow state or synchronicities that just show up on cue on more than one occasion. It hasn't always been this way, though. A few years back, I had a startup tech firm that I was running. It absolutely imploded. I lost millions of my investors' money and even my own money, everything. When I mean everything, I mean exactly that. What would you do without any income coming into the house? If your life savings, your entire life savings was gone overnight, credit cards maxed out, bills past due, and less than $200 to your name entirely without any real prospects, what would you do? What would you do if your perceived purpose, your identity, your reputation were shredded and thrown away overnight? Would you just give up? I can't find my way out of this. It is what it is. Accept it and endure. And that's exactly what I did for a short time. But can't means won't, and won't is a personal choice. And that place wasn't where I was supposed to be. So I began to choose differently, and things improved a lot. For a while, anyway. Less than 2 years later, I was hit in a hit-and-run accident while out on a training bike ride for an endurance gravel cycling race, and I was left to die in a country ditch. Fortunately, I didn't stay dead, but instead found myself in a level 1 trauma center ICU with a back broken in 3 places, a broken neck, most of the ribs on the left side of my body broken, and a few on my right, another 4 broken bones, TBI, traumatic brain injury, and a laundry list of soft tissue damage. If you want the details on this journey, listen to episode 1. You get the point. That could have very well been the universe playing a cruel joke on me, a glimpse of something better, only to have it extinguished right before my eyes, like a mirage. Or perhaps the universe was just telling me, stay down. I put you in a corner and you left, so I'm putting you back. Stay there. You ever feel like that? That your life isn't in your control, that you're strapped into the roller coaster and just enduring the ride? Can't means won't. As within, so without. That wasn't my message. The message was get up, pay attention, take control, choose differently. What brings me to the reason number 2 as to why do this. You. We live in a dangerous world today where reality is uncertain and it's not always what it seems. This negativity can grab you like a riptide. You can struggle for a bit until you are exhausted and then you just give into it. You can be swept away by this current, or we can choose something different. You see, if you know anything about riptides, the only real way to get out of it is to swim sideways or intuitive, away from the current instead of against it. Once you understand this, the riptide no longer scares you. In fact, surfers will often use riptides to carry them out to the surf breaks. They don't fear the riptide. They understand it and they use it. Back to you. Make the conscious choice to choose differently, to recognize that reality is much, much more than your simple 5 senses register and the messages that you are being fed. Choose differently. When enough of us do this, the higher frequency of our collective energy will push back. It doesn't have to be this way, even through all of that we've been told. Choose differently. Now, we are here to help along the way at The Art of Can. Our guests are not celebrities. They're not influencers or the 1%. Instead, they are extraordinary, everyday people with exceptional experiences and insights. They want to share about their journey from can't to can. They're here to remind you, as within, so without. If you like what we're working on, please subscribe and give us a good rating and review. If you have a comment or suggestion, please share it with us. We read everything. If you know someone who might be a good fit for one of these episodes, please visit amplifyflow.co and send us a message, or visit us on LinkedIn at AmplifyFlow. You can send us a message there as well. Now, on to the episode.